Welcome to Scorched Earth. This is going to be a mid-month reading for the sign of Aries, Sun, Moon and Ascendant. It's going to be a little bit shorter than the monthly readings because it's just covering the period of the 15th to the 31st of May. So I'm going to pull 3 cards for your current energy, 3 cards for what's coming towards you, and 3 cards of advice. I'm going to try not to clarify if possible, just to keep it a little bit shorter. But I am open to breaking my own rules if necessary. So let's have a look. 3 cards for Aries, please, for the last 2 weeks of May. 3 cards for Aries, please. First card you've got is the Wheel of Fortune, followed swiftly by the 6 of Wands. I like to see that. It's very fiery energy. The Wheel of Fortune is Sagittarius, 6 of Wands is Leo. One more card for Aries' current energy. Ooh, the Devil. The horned one, as it is. In this deck, we've got the 10 of Cups at the bottom of the deck, followed by the 9 of Cups, interestingly. I'd really love to see this for you, Aries. You've been, as a collective, there's been some challenges for you this year. And even just in the last reading that I did for you, there was a sense of that happening. But you've got 2 major arcana in your current energy. One of which is kind of learning lessons. Right? That's how I see the Wheel of Fortune. It's teaching moments, right? Something about what you're going through at the moment is very, very important for you progressing. Right? And it seems like you're really embracing that and moving forwards. I love this card so much. I really do. And there's a sense of you knowing that you're on the right path at the moment as well. You know, whatever has been hard up until this point, the obstacles are starting to shift for you. Right? I feel that's really, really important. We've got the Devil here. That's the card of Capricorn. I've just picked up that deck and there you are, Aries at the bottom. I'm going to clarify it because I feel like there's a distinct removal of toxicity from your current energy, right? That's what you've been doing. Toxicity, fear, anything kind of low vibrational is getting kicked to the curb for you at the moment. Why is the Devil here for Aries, please? Yeah, well, you got more fire sign energy. And it's clarified by the 10 of Wands and Strength. It's 2 10s here, right? And 10s are kind of ends of cycles. We've got the 10 of Wands and the Wheel of Fortune is numbered 10 as well. So whilst I don't see the Wheel of Fortune as an absolute end to a cycle, it's kind of a taking on board of the teaching moment, right? And progressing thereafter. And what I was just saying about there being a removal of those toxic and difficult things from your life, I think here they are. And you're growing stronger as a result, right? Leo energy very strongly there for you, as with the 6 of Wands. I really, really like that. Now, at the bottom of the deck, we've got the 5 of Cups, but immediately after that, we've got the Ace of Wands and Justice. And maybe there's been a small part of you that's been kind of, because there has been removal of something from your life. I've seen that over the last couple of months, like people have exited stage left, or even you have exited stage left. You're like, I've had enough drama, I'm not doing this anymore. And maybe you've had a small moment where you've looked back with regret about the way that things have gone down, right? But it hasn't lasted long because you know you're on the right path in the new, direction that you're going off. This is a very active card as well. Ooh. We've got the World directly underneath there. So not only is this a teaching moment, but actually you are closing out a cycle on the path that you're on. And moving towards your own happiness. Okay? Actually, maybe not just your own happiness, but together with somebody else as well. Okay? Take it as it resonates to you, but it's very positive energy for you in this current time frame that we're at. Yeah. Strength to me talks about personal growth quite strongly as well. It's And you're very fiery, right? Just as Leo and Sagittarius are. And sometimes that, when we're kind of lower vibrational and a little less mature and all that kind of thing, that can come out in, you know, being impetuous and hot-headed and all that kind of thing. And I feel like that's mutating and shifting into something a lot more discerning. You know, it's kind of finding the root of your power and finding the right outlet for it, right? And drama isn't it for you anymore, you know. And also, there's no need to butt heads with people. Right? It is a stronger move to actually move away from that than to keep trying to hit it head on. And I think that's what you're learning. I think that's what what this teaching moment has been here for you. And ultimately, as Aries, you're always more comfortable at the beginning, right, at the forefront. That's what I see with the Ace of Wands here. It's a very Aries card. You don't want to be here. You want to be at the end. That's not your energy. That's not what you're here for, right? You're that spark igniting things, but getting more mature and discerning about how you apply it. So let's have a look and see what's coming towards you for the last 2 weeks of May. Towards Aries, please. So we've got Seven of Swords, the Knight of Wands, and the Queen of Pentacles. Now these could be people, and if they're people, then the Knight of Wands could be a Sagittarius, and the Queen of Pentacles could be a Capricorn, although they could indicate any earth or fire sign. At the bottom of the deck we've got the Two of Pentacles. Right? There's a bit more emotional turmoil to come, I think, a little bit, or at least an attempt to bring this to your door. We've got a lot of stormy water behind that character there. There's a sense of them really kind of struggling to balance everything. But we've got the Queen of Swords directly after that, and then the Ten of Wands, right? You will be fine so long as you use your head, right? Not your fire, to see your way through. Now, I'm going to pull some more cards for here, because what I'm not sure about is whether this is energetic or whether this is people. I feel like it's energetic. Oh, Knight of Wands is also up in that deck, but we'll see. Seven of Swords, please. Ooh, that's interesting. Okay. Oh, wow. This is looking quite interesting, Aries. Show you what we've got in a second. So, at the bottom of this deck, we've got the Four of Pentacles in reverse, which I'm delighted to see, because the right way up it talks about, some people call it the miser card, right? So it's and for me, this card is underwritten by fear. Right? It's a similar sort of energy to this. It's about clinging to things a little bit too hard, because you feel like if you let them go in any kind of meaningful sense, they won't come back to you, right? It's a really good way of blocking your blessings, actually, that by clinging to things. So you've got to let energy move in and move out. That's what it wants to do. Coming out this way, it talks about release, right? It talks about letting things go. It talks about not operating from a place of fear. And this tallies very well with what we've seen here with the Devil. So, the first card that you've got for what's coming towards you is the Seven of Swords. Now, this is often called the Thief card, and I've virtually never, ever seen it in that way, because it usually depicts a character who has... Palo Santo over. Who is engaging in something which appears to be subterfuge, right? And there's a kind of pantomime-esque sight of this chap, and there's little gaudy colours, yellows and reds, and he's kind of, stalking off with these swords. He's obviously stealing them away, but I always think that that's a little lame as an interpretation, because I find it really, you cannot impute any kind of motive for what you see there. It's literally just a snapshot of what's going on, right? And as I've seen different interpretations in different decks, so I come to see this as more of a risk card, right? Well, yes, there is a chap and he's gathering up swords and he's, under cover of darkness, kind of headed off with them. But I refuse to interpret it with any kind of negative meaning when you've got a child on the card as well, right? Because children are innocent, children are pure. So I feel like this kind of washes away any kind of negative or pejorative kind of interpretations that you could use for this. And it talks about something altogether more pure where intent is concerned. Right. So we've got a risk, and then, hey baby, we've got you, right? We've got this Ace of Wands here, and that is definitely your card, followed by the Hierophant. Now this is a really interesting combination, because the Ace of Wands is potential. It's that spark, right? It's what Aries is all about. And it could be, it's a new something, right? And because it talks about passion and creativity and inspiration and activity, right? It's like that lightning bolt of inspiration that you get. And I'm going to do this new thing, right? And it makes your blood run hot with excitement. And there are two different ways of seeing this interpretation with the Hierophant. Because for me, it could indicate a rejection of rigid hierarchy in whatever sense. So that could be, your family, potentially, if you have a particularly patriarchal kind of setup. That's a possibility. But it could be broader than that, and it could be society in general. This is you kind of flipping the tables and going, no, I'm not doing this just because it's what I'm supposed to do. The Hierophant card speaks about ritual and kind of repetitive things, very rigid frameworks, right? So you're kind of upending that and going, oh, I'm not doing it anymore, because there's a risky element to it, right? There's no risk in towing the line and doing what you're always supposed to do. And there's nothing new and creative and inspirational about towing the line and doing what you're always supposed to be doing. So there's that, right? Flipping the script, doing things your own way, as we see from the Ace of Wands. And the other way of looking at it is that it's potentially, because it talks about rigid hierarchies, we could be talking about higher learning of some description, right? So this could be an excitement, taking a risk on, going to higher learning. I feel like it's more the former than the latter, but I had to throw it in there anyway. So you are taking a risk on something, right? The next card that you got is the Knight of Wands. Now, he sometimes gets a bad rap. He's the card of Sagittarius, and so he speaks of non-commitment, right? So sometimes he gets called the fuckboy card, which is entirely deserved. But it feels altogether more positive here for you, Aries, because it's your sister energy. And because we've got this notion of flipping the script on things that are established and hierarchical and slow moving, there's very little movement with that kind of, there's very little evolution with this kind of structure. Here we've got someone who is living in the moment. Here we have someone who is spontaneous and willing to pounce on opportunities as they present. And it's clarified by the Two of Wands and the Ace of Swords. The Two of Wands is my crossroads card, right? And obviously it follows directly on straight from the Ace. And it's like you had the idea. This is you kind of looking at the logistical angles of it all. And try and work out which direction you're going to go in, because you have to make an assessment about this. And thinking very clearly about it. Now, it's the second ace that you've got here, right? It's new ways of thinking about things. It's new ideas sometimes. It's being able to express yourself perfectly. But it is the truth as well. I mean, I think that it's potentially an opportunity coming your way that you've kind of pulled into yourself with this ace, which you're then seeing through with this, right? It's quite a fluid energy. And then we've got the Queen of Pentacles. Now, as I said, this could be a person, but I really don't think that it is, which is interesting because it's clarified by another court card. We've got the King of Cups. And it feels more like a sort of taking charge of your own environment, right? The Queen of Pentacles is the first card, is the main card that's come out here for what's coming towards you. And for me, she speaks about self-care, right? She's a very nurturing energy. She knows how to look after herself and she knows how to look after other people. And I think that for a while, you've been maybe putting other people first a little bit too much. This is kind of pulling the power back. It's pulling it back to you. And this doesn't necessarily need to be from your significant other. This could be from wider family. This could be from work. Take it as it resonates to you. But it's a sense of pulling that power back to you, right? Nurturing you, nurturing everything that you have, right? Being very grateful for everything that you have, because the Queen of Pentacles knows the value of the things that she holds. Off the back of that, what you've got is an exponential leap in emotional maturity. And as I said, we've got growth here, right? Being discerning, not having to fight every battle, because sometimes walking away is the best thing. And we've got the Nine of Swords. And it's like whatever it is that has been troubling you, whatever it was over the last few months that has been giving you grief, you're kind of refusing to give that any power anymore. Like you're refusing to overthink the situation because you're going with your gut, you're going with what you think is right. What about the Nine of Swords, please? Yeah. There's they've got the Ten of Pentacles at the bottom of the deck now. Like that could well be family, certainly. Could talk about business too, if you're looking at this in a work setting. But there's a lightness of spirit about you as well. Right, you've learned a lesson and you've learned it well, and it's been hard. But the release that we were talking about with the Four of Pentacles in reverse is kind of putting you here like this. Like it's a rejection of this, and it's an embracing of the Page of Cups, which is this very light, very kind of emotionally cloud-like, it's kind of floating along without being mired down in shit, right? And someone taking charge of their own personal environment, right? Just kind of taking charge of that here as well. Really like that for you, Aries. It's awesome. Let's have a look and see what we have for you in terms of advice. So advice for Aries, please. Seven of Pentacles and the Two of Wands. Ooh. And the Six of Pentacles. Yeah, we've got the Six of Cups at the bottom of the deck here, and that talks to me about the past. Oh, and there you are, Aries, directly under there with the Six of Swords, right? You've left stuff behind, stuff from the past, and maybe you haven't dealt with it all yet, but you're feeling much more able to do so. You're feeling quite empowered at the moment from whatever it is that you've left behind. You've kind of increased your own personal structure. You have grown. So in terms of advice, what we've got is the Seven of Pentacles, we've got the Two of Wands, and we've got the Six of Pentacles. And it feels like you are empowered to such a degree now that you can take stock of not just the thing that has been really burdening you for the last few months, right? Or possibly longer. But you can look at everything about your environment now, everything about the life that you have created for yourself, and start seeing if this is where you want to go, right? The energy is perfect for you at the moment to start instituting changes wherever you see fit. And they don't have to be major ones, because we've got just the two here. It's time to start thinking about it, right? Trying to work out which direction you want to, pick where you want to end up, and then come back and have a look at the route that takes you there, right? That's the thing. Because ultimately, what you're looking for is balance, right? We cannot be all of one thing all of the time, right? And although we're fire signs and we absolutely adore our element, I feel like fire signs particularly really adore their element. Occasionally it needs to be tempered with other things, you know? And what has been going on for you has been watery and emotionally difficult, right? But you're kind of moving through that phase into something a little bit more balanced. And the cards would seem to suggest that it's time to look at all aspects of your life now and make sure that that balance is just right everywhere, because the energy is right for you to do that. Like, I don't know why I keep saying that, but it is right now for Aries. You're very empowered, right? Now the big things out of the way, you can look at all the other little things as well, and just make sure that there's nothing quite out of kilter, right? Keeps you strong, keeps you going forwards. So I'm going to leave it there. If the message resonated, I'd love it if you would like the video or leave a comment or something like that. And if you haven't subscribed, obviously, I would love it if you did that too. I did do an extended for the monthly, so I'll put the link down there if you haven't seen it. Right, you can go and have a look. It is an extended to the monthly reading, but I feel like it may have some relevance for this here too. So if you're interested in that, it's down in the description box. If not, I will see you in about a fortnight for the monthly readings for June. Okay, take care.